Okay, so what I want to talk about now is I want to talk about how to go about conducting your research today. And so I'm going to give you a lot of pointers and a lot of clues. I'm going to give you some strategies as to how to organize your documents. I'm going to give you some strategies as to how to best use the databases and some of the tools that are inherently built in. But let's go down through and take a look here. So the first thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to establish a topic. You've been working on that. You've been completing your brainstorming exercises. And so you should be getting fairly close to having your topic finalized. Now, one of the key things that you're going to want to do before you jump into your topic is you're going to want to go back through and do some preliminary research. And what preliminary research means is that you're going to go into the databases, you're going to go look for books. You might spend 20 or 30 minutes doing this, but what you're going to want to find out is, can I actually research this topic? Am I going to find enough information about my topic where I can write a decent research paper about this? And so after some preliminary research, it should be pretty apparent. You know, if you go in there and you're just finding tons of stuff, then you know you got enough. But if you're struggling and you're just not coming up with what you want, or maybe your topic's a little too narrow, or maybe you're coming up with way too much stuff and your topic's way too big. So conduct that preliminary research to find out sort of where you stand. Once you hone in on your final topic, and if you have any questions about your topic this week as you're developing those, please feel free to send me some emails and we can talk about topics. We can even chat over the phone if need be, or come in and meet me face to face if you're having some issues with your topic. The next one is gathering sources. So the main two places I want you looking for sources are the databases on campus and then books. Now, you may use .coms and .orgs, and I'll explain this in a few minutes in a very limited sense, but I don't want to see an overabundance of .coms or .orgs, and I'll explain why in a little bit. The next thing you need to do, which a lot of people neglect, ironically enough, is you actually need to read your sources. You need to spend some time getting to know the material, learning about your topic. That's the entire purpose. So spend some time reading. While you're reading, I suggest that you take notes. And in one of the videos in a few minutes, I'm going to show you the methodology that I use to take notes. And I think the best way that while you're taking notes, you're actually starting to generate an outline for your paper. And so I'll show you that process. Then the next thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to write annotations. Now, annotation is a fancy word for a summary. So for every single one of your sources, while you're taking notes, those notes are going to feed a 5-sentence summary of each one, and that's going to go in your annotated bibliography. And so bibliography, getting down here, your annotated bibliography is basically a reference page with annotations, with summaries. And so what an annotated bibliography is used for is it's used for your instructors to kind of track what kind of progress you're making with your research project. Now, in a small research project like this, when we're really studying the writing process, how to go about doing and obtaining these skills, annotated bibliography may not be as useful. But let's say that you're in a senior level capstone course and you're going to be working on one paper or 25, 30-page paper the entire semester. Your instructor is going to want to see, you know, what are you researching? What are you looking at? What are you chasing? And the annotated bibliography will provide them with a pretty good source of that information. And then finally, your annotated bibliography is also getting you ready for your reference page. I think most of you have worked on a reference page. If you've used MLA, this is called works cited. Works cited and a reference page can be used interchangeably. A reference page is used in APA, where the works cited page is typically used in MLA, just two different formatting guidelines as we talked about. But it's the very last page of your paper, and usually it has hanging indents, which I'll teach you how to do. And it has all the publishing information for each of the texts that you're going to be using. I'm going to give you some details on how to create all these today in another video. But basically, you're going to want to alphabetize by author's last name. You're going to have the title and all the publishing information in there. And this is going to be the very last page of your paper. It's going to have the page number, and it's going to have your running head up at the very top. And so that's basically what we're going to be making this week and we're going to be using the time that we spend reading and gathering sources and taking notes to write these summaries, which will go in your annotated bibliography, and completing your references. All right, now I want to go through here. I'm going to clear the screen off. and I want to navigate down here and take a look at your research source requirements. So your research source requirements, you're going to have to gather a minimum of 8 sources total, which you found out about last week, but 8 sources total for your paper. Now, at least 5 of these sources must come from books or academic journals. Now, you ask why academic journals? Academic journals go through a process that's called peer review. This is really useful. Let's use a medical field example. So let's say your doctor tells you to take this bottle of pills. And this bottle of pills, we'll do the RX symbol, has been designed by some researcher. You want to make sure that this researcher right here is actually being watched by another researcher who's checking all of the findings and all of the paperwork that this research guy over here is doing before he takes this prescription and gives it to you or your kids. And so this is a process in the academy that's called peer review. And this is where other people take time to look at your work to see if your work is actually legitimate or not. And so most academic journals in an ideal world have a fairly solid peer review process that they go through. What that does is it instills and it ensures that the product coming out of those academic journals is of high quality, it's of research-based quality, and it can be used to build helicopters and to build to make new prescription medicines for people, that sort of process. So these type of situations create a much more in-depth knowledge base. Journals and books here, so you can retrieve these from the library databases, which we've already done, and I'm going to show you again. You can also use scholar.google to search for scholarly journals. Pretty useful site, pretty good. For books, you can pull books off your shelves at home. You can also go to the library to get books, or you can go to books.google.com. Can also there's tons of books on there that have been scanned from public libraries all over the country. So there's a lot of useful information there. All right, so if you take a look down here, no more, everybody pay close attention to that, no more than 3 from .com or .org sites. And all of the sources must pass the CRAP test, which there's an entire video and a handout that are associated with the CRAP test. So let's go over and let's move into our course content for a few minutes, and I want to show you a couple of course content items that you're going to need for the next steps. So if you navigate over to our online course and you take a look here, this is week 12. There's a CRAP test handout. This handout is a PDF which will walk you through what the CRAP test is. Like I said, there'll also be a video posted in the writing lecture on the CRAP test. And then if you click on this one, this is an important one. This is library database passwords. I'm going to move this over so you can see. I'm having a hard time moving this, but as you should all be aware of this PDF, the video is a little wonky here, but basically this PDF, if you are at home and you want to access the college databases, you must have these passwords in order to get in because they're proprietary systems. So if you have any questions, let me know. And oh, here we go. I can move this over that way. There you go. So you can see EBSCO, Encyclopedia, Montana Library, SIRS, ProQuest, Newsbank. There they all are. If you have any questions this week, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks.